Testing 1, 2, 3.
Have you started test 2?
I have done some test 2 already. Yay, we see you now.
Wow.
Okay.
What a night, but okay.
I was at baseball today, so I ran home and got on. Oh no, it was great. So one of the things I was saying is that we could probably do tonight was that we could probably do this first week 3 Zoom session that is just really about setting the standards and the policies that we're going to use. Do you know what document I'm talking about there? It's the one that says team policy development for week 3. It says the team will collaboratively develop a policy that covers issues, conflicts, problems, etc. that might arise during the course of the semester. And it's really just us setting our norms. It's like we're our own PLC here too. And we're like setting our norms with each other about peer feedback.
Yeah, well, I say since you have the document,
I don't have my document up, sweetie. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
You got it pulled up. Yeah, this is it's a real simple one. So since you have it pulled up, I say just read the questions off and we go down the list and just check them off.
Well, and like before, we talked. This is like the second time we've talked, so that we can keep trying. We're interacting with one another through the text, which is great. I loved hearing from you all today, even though I know we had to move stuff around, which was great too, because we could even talk about that. Which I'm sorry about that happening.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think part of this is making sure that we're setting Zoom meetings. And then the first question is, what do we do if a member misses a Zoom session that we had set up? So they're asking, what should our policy be for a member missing a Zoom session? We're encouraged to brainstorm to find policies on which all members can agree upon. So, and then following that, let's see, what is it? We just kind of need our basic start. So I think we decided before that Sundays were good and Wednesdays were good.
Yeah.
Then also texting each other so that we knew what day that we could do this and what time we could do this was the best way. So I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think in terms of what the policy should be if someone misses a Zoom, I say that we just make sure we reach out to each other first and foremost to see, why the Zoom was missed, if it was an issue of something happened, something came up versus I just forgot, you know what I mean? And I think, in terms of, like you said, we've already talked and I think we already have established a good rapport with each other.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be able to communicate and adjust. But I think if someone just completely falls off the face of the earth and we just stop hearing from each other, I think then we would need to, say, hey, Dr. Crawford, can you reach out to this person and see where they are? If, we continue to text each other and call each other and let's say, we don't hear anything. But I think as long as we make sure we communicate with each other if something comes up, because, already, something came up this week, unfortunately.
Right.
But like you said, it worked out. We weren't ready anyway, so it worked. So what do y'all think about that?
How does that sound to you, Marshall? I think you just mute. There you go. Say that again.
I think what Ms. Board or Megan said, I think was great. I'm telling you what I really thought initially. I was like, well, why should we be any more strict on ourselves than they are on us with the Zoom meetings. You know, they give us I was actually thinking it in my head. That's okay. They're giving us the option, but then I had to rethink as, okay, this is class, Marcia, this is backup. So I think just back up, recalculate. So yes, the communication, like I said, we do very well with this text in here, and just reach out, and like she said, just notify Dr. Crawford. I agree with
if somebody falls off the face of the earth, but I think so far we've done pretty good at saying, hey, I'm alive. Barely.
Yeah.
I know barely, but I'm here, but okay.
Can we do this time? Hey, can we do this time? Can we move it to this time? Can we?
We try to accommodate each other because, I mean, we're all, you know, our schedules are all crazy. So, and we teach in 3 totally different environments, you know, and life happens. Because I was at school last night, it was 8:30 when I left. So, and you tonight, I'm sure it was a late night. So, you know, as the season and things progress, I definitely know it'll be, you know, we'll have to make some adjustments. But just as long as we're in the loop, I think we're fine.
I do too.
Okay.
Policy, we would know, reach out, and
if anything happens, then
no communication, then notify instructor. Advise, ask for instructor about advice. Notify, ask for advice.
Yeah, hold each other accountable first, and then and if somebody falls off the face of the earth, then reach out. And that's kind of probably the answer to the next one too. It says if a member fails to provide feedback to a peer by the deadline. So that I'm the one that's on the rail on that one, because we talked about us doing that by tonight, and I'm the one that haven't done it, and you both have. So.
I mean, it's because I think the fact, you know, I think the fact that we set the deadline early, it helped, because still, you know, if you finish it tomorrow, it's still plenty of time for us to go back and review. You know what I mean? So I like Wednesdays. We'll say, you know, as I like to say, Tuesday is a soft deadline. Wednesday is a hard deadline.
Hard deadline. Yep.
You know? So I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you.
I'm not either. I mean, I did the best I could, and I probably was not. I'll be honest. I probably was not as detailed as I should have been on my review, but I was trying my best to get it in and be fair.
So I think it's sort of the same thing. It sounds like we're all really comfortable with saying to each other, hey, we understand the differences, but then also we need to keep a hard line at this one particular point. So I like the idea of Wednesdays as a hard line of if we need to have feedback during that week. Because, you know, if you think about it, we got to have everything written by Sunday, which if this is the way it works with you guys, I got to have everything done by Friday, because I'm not going to be getting data, anything else from the school after that Friday. Saturday, I'm trying to pull it all together and write it. So Wednesday would be a great deadline for us to make sure we give feedback to one another by that date, you know, hands down, so that we can then at least have a couple more days to massage it into that next thing. So.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's good too. The next one, what if a member is believed to be plagiarizing the works of others?
Ooh.
Question.
Ooh.
So I guess if I steal your peer review and then rewrite it.
That's what they're talking. Oh, okay.
I think so.
I think that and maybe even like, I don't know. I mean, okay.
So Megan, hold on. Let me ask a question. How are you putting your picture up? Because I seem to can't get mine up there. What are you doing?
You mean
How are you making your picture show up and then go away? Where am I?
I think whenever who's talking.
Really? So when I'm talking, I don't see me though.
That's what
but you can split it out to where you should be able to see all 3 of y'all. Like I see all 3 of y'all.
I don't, but okay. All right. Just go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I think too, if you suspect somebody of plagiarism, I mean, I think you need to alert the professor. I mean, we're all adults, and as I said, we all have master's degrees. Now, I think it's a difference between, you know, you straight up plagiarizing and then you misquoting, because especially with this APA is complicated,
right?
And it's foreign to me. So, you know, I think sometimes, especially I think early on in this process, we're going to make mistakes with it, and until we just get comfortable with it. Because I didn't use APA with my first master's.
Okay.
So I can say that for me. But I think with plagiarism, you just call it what it is. If you see it, you report it, because you know. What you
I mean,
think?
it's an honor violation. So I agree with you. It's one of those things where, I think we'd be like, where did you find? You just took my. Did you just do that? You took that from what I just wrote, kind of a thing. So I think definitely that, but at the same time, I think that's a straight to the professor too kind of an answer. So
Yeah, I'll ask first. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ask you. Did you mean to do it this
right.
way? You know what I mean? Did you mean that? Did you miss the quotes or did you miss this? And I think you just ask the person first because everybody,
So,
unintentional.
does anybody know what the university's policy is on that? Because I can tell you what my university was.
What was it? Get kicked out?
Well, the ultimate was kick out, but some of the professors, I think at their own discretion, they have the right to not to put you to the kick out level. They can ask you to do some other work and go take this little plagiarism test, which at Central, we had to take them for a lot of our classes prior to taking the classes. It was a headache, but we had to go into this site and take their little test and pass the test. And some of us, it took me one time. I said, I don't believe this, about 9 times. It was a test from another state to actually pass a plagiarism test. And then that's what they did first, because when you get to the point of being kicked out, you don't get another chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Do we put that little sidebar, that other little piece in there first, or do we just say go to the professor and say plagiarism, or so you make the decision according to university policy?
Yeah, I say let the professor handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's an issue, it's an issue with that. But like I said, if it's something unintentional, that's totally different. And I'll say this: I hadn't said it before, and I don't like to tell people this when I'm working, but I was an English teacher, so I have an English background. So that stuff it jumps out like a red flag. It does. It's very clear to tell whether somebody plagiarized or whether they made an honest mistake. It's
right.
for me,
So too.
for me at least, just because I taught English. So.
And that's good. I was just sitting here thinking about what my major being psychology and education. There were a lot of things we had to write in a narrative that were just plain everywhere in every book you can think of. And there's no other way that you can comment or write about it unless you said exactly what they said. Right. So that was the biggest thing that turned it in for me and for a lot of us. If we're talking about exceptional children and this disability, I mean, you can't reword it, you can't rewrite it. Right. It comes out of your mouth whether you remembered it after all these years or not. So that has always been a great area for me. So like you said, you don't do it intentionally, but you're so used to having to say it over and over and over again, it just comes out in your writing. You just say it, you just write it.
And I think one of the things that Dr. Crawford had said at one point too was that just cite it. I mean, you can just cite it, and then you don't ever have a problem.
When in doubt, that's what I say. When in doubt,
just cite it, right? Even if you remember it, just find the citation and say, "Okay, this is where I remember this from."
Exactly.
Okay, it's okay. All right.
All right. Another one is, what if the Zoom master does not share the link after the meeting? So, like, if I take all this recording, but then I don't ever share that.
Oh, we're going to call you 3,000.
We're going to call you 3 times a night, and we're going to help you out because I really appreciate you doing this, Mr. Rush. Not my forte. So I am not going to beat you up on it. We're just going to call you and say, please put it on. Please put it on. Please.
Yeah,
now, this is Megan's forte, too, though, so.
Oh, really? It's not mine, so thank both of you. Not mine. Okay.
We'll handle it. Again, but all jokes aside, seriously, if like let's say we do our peer reviews Wednesday and then Saturday or Friday, and we hadn't got a link from you,
right?
Then,
So when I do this tonight, I send you guys a link, right?
Yeah, I think what you need to do from the way, and I may need a little clarity on this as well. It almost seemed as though you needed to send us the MP3 version of it, and then we needed to upload it to our YouTube accounts and post it from our personal accounts. Is that the impression you got, or did you get the impression that you could take that one YouTube link and send it to all of us? I need a little clarity on that myself.
I don't know on that either. I think what I will do is that when I get this down, it comes as an MP3, like what you just said. And I know I've got to upload it to YouTube so that they can
Yeah.
and get to it, because otherwise they said that if you upload the other thing, it's too much video.
But that was my question. Will it suffice to have the link, the YouTube link associated with your account? You see what I'm saying? Versus did we need to take it and have it under us as well? Just kind of like with the peer review, even though we did it for each other, still for the grade itself, do we need to have it associated with that? Does that make sense what I'm saying? It sounds kind of jumbled.
I think what it is that that's what the Zoom master is. So by being the Zoom master, when I put this up on my YouTube, whatever, and I send the link, then that means I was the one that was responsible. And obviously they're going to see you three in the video, or the three of us in the video. And so therefore, that's my assumption, is that they're okay with that. But I would always send the link, and I'm assuming that's the way you would do it too. So.
Yeah. Because it was a place on the peer review that you could see that you could add the link to it. But like you said, you submit the peer review several times. So I was just gonna, submit it again with the link after it was recorded. But yeah. So either way, he'll tell us, I'm guessing.
Okay. What if a member is rude, offensive, or overly emotional when giving feedback?
I personally think we're professional enough to say that could be said differently, or what do you mean by that? I mean, it's
right. And to me, I'm the same way. I noticed that all of y'all have polished in the way that we interact with one another, both through text and through here. I mean, there's obviously, you guys are not going to do that, but I think at the same time, I'm hoping that we can confront one another and say, look, that was you shouldn't have said that, or whatever. And have a consensus, like somebody else is like, yep, I agree with you. You shouldn't have said that.
I don't have a problem with constructive criticism.
Right.
So let's just say we can provide constructive criticism, and we can move from there.
Absolutely. Because I think that's the way I look at it. And us going into administration, I think we have if we didn't have it already, we have to develop that tough skin and that ability to, number one, be corrected, but then number two, give correction in a professional manner. Exactly.
And it's funny you're saying that, because I have to try to have a meeting with the BSA, and she's avoiding me because she was rude. Really, but okay. Yeah.
But I think that's a good practice, like what you just said, is being confrontive if you need to is not a bad thing, as long as you even confront somebody in a nice way. Like, you just upset me. That was kind of offensive. Let's think about this differently. Like you said, if we're going to move into this role, we're going to have to be able to do that and be thick-skinned at the same time.
I agree. I do a lot of affirmation, and I probably should or should not. It depends. Also, when I hear you and I understand you're a little upset right now, can we discuss what just happened, or something going on that we need to know about? Or that you care to share.
This is my line. Can you clarify that?
That's your line. I affirm a lot, so you will clarify and I affirm. What do you do, David?
I'll probably say, what did you just say? I don't think I heard that right.
Which is great.
Oh, that's funny.
This is really funny.
That's the biggest things. That's all the questions really that he has down here, and I think some of this is just making sure that we know that how to do what we just did, which is all of us get on the. And my guess too is that this being week 3, and he said something about task 2 has to be done before that, and somebody else in the thing that we were just in said week 5 is when that was due, and he was going to talk about it next time. So I think we're way ahead of the game as far as that goes.
Look at it. Okay, that's a good thing.
So your understanding of the videos are not to video each time we meet, and then or we do video all of them and we kind of put them together, or present it as different links each time? I'm confused. I'm sorry. I'm serious. We're not supposed to. Because we meet a lot by Zoom, right? So shouldn't we be videoing them?
I think what I would like to do is whoever's a Zoom master still records it, whether we use it or don't use it.
Okay.
It's like I recorded the last one, and I have that one. If anybody ever needs
Okay.
that one, we can do
Okay.
that one. And then I'm recording this one too for the same thing. But my understanding from what, even tonight, which was confusing, is that we got to establish the guidelines, which we already had done last time.
Yeah,
I think I'm more
Okay.
formalizing it today.
exactly.
And then that would count for best part. But then we're actually going to do, like, now that we've established these norms as ourselves and whatever, next time we'll probably do the feedback to one another for task 2 through that.
For task 2 or task 1?
I
Do
think
task 1 and 2?
Well,
Oh, so we don't
1 and 2,
provide
but
feedback.
I think 2.
Oh, okay.
Is that way you understood it, Megan? That we're doing the paper for task 1
Mhm.
and then the Zoom for task 2.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back and like I said, look again tomorrow because we have a 2-hour delay. But
Oh, how good! Oh, you're so lucky. I don't think we have one. Oh, I was praying, God, please. I need a delay.
I'm sorry, I don't think I just heard you say that.
I sure did. God, please.
I said some good prayers Sunday. So my school bag is in the trunk. I said I'll think about that tomorrow. But
I'm hoping the school system.
I'll look again to make sure because it's a little
Okay.
but that was my understanding too that we needed to do. I think we do a peer review for next week too as well.
I think so too.
I think we do that as well, but like you said, with the addition of the Zoom. So we have some time.
So when did we get together to actually talk about task 1? Like we were just mentioning them, right? Is that 5? So many weeks from now?
Well, I mean, I can pause this to make sure that we've finished with this, and we can keep this
Okay.
going, or I can keep recording it if you want to, and keep going and just let them see. It doesn't matter.
You can pause it. You can pause it. Let's pause this one.